I'm Paula, and welcome to OtherRealmStudio. Today I'm still on some client work. This is going to be for a children's book called Growlylocks and the Three Humans. And as you can see, everyone's really excited to have a bear in their house. So I didn't get to do very much work on this earlier today. But I've gotten a little ways on the mom here. And I do need to be careful that she stands out enough from the background. So I have a little bit of rim lighting going on already, and I'm just gonna darken like right behind it with this with the palest one of the orange colors on the default color set. So that will let her pop out from the background very subtly, but I think it'll work. So she's going to need a lot of neatening up and textures done on her clothes. And let's see. So today I may have posted a little bit of a rant on Twitter, and it gathered uh, more attention than I'm really used to. But I wouldn't take back a word of it. And it needs to be said. So it's about how Christian artists are seen by the church and by their families and by their friends and everyone. It just seems that for the past couple decades or so, Christians have been avoiding the arts. It's a nice little hobby, but nobody really encourages it. And half the time when you finally get good and you find some success, there seem to always be plenty of Christians and churches and people that maybe you thought were your friends, who are willing to just spread gossip about you and claim that you only found success with it, or you only started doing this for unchristian sorts of reasons. And I think that's a false teaching. I think it's wrong. I think that if we weren't meant to be creative as human beings, then, well, we wouldn't have been given the impulse and the drive to create. This is what I'm meant to do. And it's so weird that sometimes you get people who in one breath they say, oh, I wish I could draw, and in the next breath um, You know, and they say, "Oh, can you make me this? Just pull it out of air for free." And in the next breath after that, Christians make terrible art. Like, no, no, people, we're doing the best we can. Well, howdy, Tim the Blue Mage. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, I think I have her waist a good bit smaller than her head. Oh, nice. Oh, TJ. Yeah, it's a little hard to keep track of everybody's names across all the different platforms. So, yeah, I went on a rant. Yeah, I was doing pretty good on here. I had a nice schedule going last year, but then life happened and the schedule did not. But I'm glad I can start it up again. And now I have a camera, so that's a new weird thing to get used to. So I'm using Restream.io, so I'm streaming simultaneously to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Yeah, I don't know if I could stream a game. It takes a little too much concentration, I think. My kids are practicing narrating everything they do, though, so they might be able to do it. See, I'm going to try and work out where the folds would be. Yeah, even just starting out with, without the camera and trying to keep up a conversation, it's it's really kind of tricky. Forgot to switch to my paintbrush. So here, even though this is a children's book and things should be a little bit exaggerated, I still wanted to um, um, be very realistic and, well, maybe not realistic exactly, but I wanted to give the figures a lot of grace and movement, more like you would find in like an actual painting rather than a digital one, since I am still using real painting techniques with it as closely as I can manage. And ah trying to give the feeling of real paint. Actually, I think I need to undo everything I just did, because that was the wrong layer. Why? Oh well, I didn't get very far on the wrong layer. We will pretend this never happened. Okay, I can do it better. I can do it better now anyway. So there. Yeah, I love layers. It's so nice to be able to move things around independently and to avoid smudging into avoid smudging your skin layers with your clothing layers, um, and not have to attempt to erase everything and go back to it and paint it back better, even though if you've erased on paper or canvas, you've just pretty much ruined your paper or canvas. Or you have to paint over the whole thing so that the levels will all be even. Yeah, traditional painting is it's fraught with difficulties. So I am now very spoiled by digital painting and my layers. So a lot of this I've already blended the skin tones, and I just need to neaten up my outlines and do a little bit more shading. So that my figures stand out well from the background. Yeah, I started off with um, when I was learning digital painting. I started with GIMP. I don't think you do layers in GIMP. It's been a while since I've used it. And I had a drawing tablet from Monoprice, which was like $20. So it was the poor man's Wacom. And that's what I learned on, and I gotta say, it's made me so grateful. So yeah, once I learned the basics and got the hang of drawing on a tablet while looking at the screen, which it's not that difficult. I mean, all the way through college, I would take notes this way. Um, I can write reasonably legible notes. Let's see. Without looking at my hand as I write. So all through college, I would just stare at the teacher and try and understand while uh, filling up notebooks. And usually I didn't even have to look at the notebooks again. But if I had to, I could still read it. So learning how to draw without looking at what I'm doing except for on the screen, uh, it wasn't that difficult to adjust to. Okay, for once I was fairly happy with how her hand turned out, the basic structure of it anyway. So I just need to neaten it up. Mm. Alright, the volume in the other room's getting kind of loud. I don't know what's going on. I may have to I may have to do something about that. Yeah, I think Miss Chaos is in there watching DuckTales. So I don't really have doors on my study. So this back here is actually my signage from Comic Cons. And it kind of blocks off the view of where I sit here at the computer while I work. So it kind of leads to just a few less interruptions for random stuff. It doesn't prevent all of them, but I am able to work for longer at a time. Yeah, they're good kids though. Yeah, I don't think I could get mine to go to sleep just yet. It's still a little bit early for them. Let me see. We'll lighten this up and give it some highlights. Kids are fantastic. I mean, I made them. It'd be pretty sad if I didn't like them. Hey, in Bloom. I think that's only you. Okay, let me back up and look at this. So today we had our first day of school, which it went well. The first day of setup did not go well, but that's okay. Eventually I got the computer to behave. Yeah, we're using the Alpha Omega Switched On Schoolhouse program, which works really well. That's what I learned on, more or less. I never had I never had the Switched On Schoolhouse thing growing up, but it's all the same textbook as their Life Pack program, and probably Monarch too. Yeah, it's all the same curricula. So it's all pretty familiar to me. See if I can adjust this just a little more. I will probably come back and fix it again. Like it's, all things considered, I was reasonably happy with this hand and how it came out. So yeah, I was trying to do a client install on the kids' computers with this one as the home install or the full install, and yeah, at least this year we're all on the same operating system and we should all be on the same network, but I had to go digging and digging and digging to find all the different permissions, and I thought I did not find them, so I uninstalled and reinstalled, and miraculously that time it worked for my son's computer. But then my daughter's computer doesn't have a disk drive, and we've been doing this for a while, so fifth grade that I had is on disk. That's okay because Polar Bear hooked up had a like a standalone disk drive, and we hooked it up and got our subjects downloaded. So oh, I was a lot happier after that. Let's see. I wonder what other colors are going to look good with blue to shade it. Can't really tell much difference with the blue or the dark purple. Yes, victory. Hard-won victory. I was thinking that her outfit would look really cute with a wide belt, but I don't know. That might stiffen up my composition a little, and I don't need to do that. So I've just agreed to do an interview on, well, or a video. I'm not quite sure. Um, with Deltaverse Comics, which is coming out with Johnny's Law, their independent project. And I don't actually have more information on that to tell you. But that's where I'll be tomorrow on their channel, which I don't have a link for that at the moment either. I'm terribly disorganized. But it should be a good show, and we'll be talking about Christians and entertainment and all kind of good stuff. There goes autosave. And I have a lot of other stuff going on too. Well, TJ, you know about wins because you're on there with me. And also indiegen.xyz, where you can search for independent entertainment in any genre. Well, almost any genre. All the good ones. Yeah, I keep feeling like there's some kind of big change going on. Um, I mean, for one thing, what we've got going on has been unsustainable for a while. And it's finally time. Something's got to tip. Well, I would I would like to see a lot more traffic come through IndieGen, and I need a lot more creators. But I'm going to get back into promoting it. I did stop for a little bit. I had so many projects. I still have so many projects, but I think I have a handle on them and a schedule that I can work with. Let me see, I'm going to have to adjust this right here. Or over here. Something will have to adjust. I mean, I think that the way that the entertainment industry um, is not the normal natural order of things. I think it's been artificially propped up. And I think that, oh yeah, yeah, and novels as well. I mean, you really can get better stuff from independent creators. Yeah, that's the only place you're really going to find stuff that the creators care about what they're doing. And you're not just a trend to these people. They love the media and they're working and trying their best to tell a good story instead of push an agenda. Yeah, so I haven't heard anything else about the reader site that Jaji was talking about, but I did invite her into the Winds group so she could see how mine's set up. Which is on the uh, ELG platform, elgg.org. If you want to go look up how they do stuff. You know, it was really kind of easy once I got past the setup, which, yeah, same thing is true with the school. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. I I think that, you know, even if she's not going to get into animation, I think she'll still be a very valuable member of the group too. If she's got time to stay in and all. Oops, forgot to switch back to my paintbrush. Let's see. Yeah, I really liked her, The Unexpected Enlightenment of Rachel Griffin, her young adult book that's um, set in a magic world that's hidden from the rest of, you know, mundane reality. You know, great characterization, engaging story. I really wish I had more time to read. I would read all of them. It's shaping up into a great series. Yeah, she's an excellent writer, so it shouldn't be too difficult to even start in the middle and catch back up because she gives you just enough context. I grew up on the reading the Nancy Drew stories and all, and always those first couple chapters, you're like, yes, yes, I know who all the people are. You don't have to tell me about them. Stop the action and all. But Gaji's good enough that she doesn't have to stop the action to tell you who's who and what's what. I'm over here trying to eyeball the angle for this. Feet, they're difficult. Okay, I think I've about got this. So, yeah, I don't see how Hollywood and all can legitimately make money from what they do unless, all those people who are so shocked and horrified when, say, a Christian creates art or creates a show or a comic book or a movie. All those people who say that, oh, it's terrible, or oh, you shouldn't uh, have that as a career, or you shouldn't pay for art lessons, you should just expect talent to fall on you from above, or however they think this works. Um, the only thing I can figure is that all those people are still out there buying movie tickets and extremely pretentious novels and all the other stuff that they're too good to buy from Christians and independents, and they only feel comfortable buying from big name brands because they can trust that they will always be a consistent level of terrible. Speaking of consistency, let's see how that goes. Yeah, I really need to get back to work on the dad here. Pieces of his features are fine, and the whole is not. I gotta get back to work on it. Okay, backing up, I am actually really happy with this shoe. Now she needs another one. Okay, come on. I keep meaning to swap out my mouse, and I haven't done it yet. I have this ergonomic mouse, which is great in theory, and in practice, it doesn't always scroll or zoom in when I want it to. So I don't know if that's really the fault of it being ergonomic or if it's just got a little glitch in it. So let's see. I won't be doing an art stream tomorrow because I'll be on the other show, which I guess I need to look up the information for it and see where I can make that public. Because, if we don't stick together and support each other, then who will? A lot of the mainstream creators have a nasty habit of backstabbing. See, I think I actually have the shoe just a bit short. Okay, that'll give me something to work from. And which one? The reading group? Well, it's just people are not used to thinking in terms of possibilities. I don't know if it's been trained out of us or what. Uh, well, alright, so you have to figure out a way to make something work with human nature instead of against it, which is the problem that most people have with anything that they try to do, really. Um, Let me see. And for most people, they want to join, say, some kind of publicity group, but they don't want to bring publicity to the group, or they want to join a critique group and get their work critiqued and get feedback on it, but they don't want to do the critiquing. And you want to join a group to have your book reviewed, but you're swamped. You're trying to write. So you don't have time to read and review every book. If you did, you'd be a reviewer. So it is really difficult to get people to do their part in a group if you don't structure it right. Now, the trick is when you structure things so that the part that gains the rewards is the part that you are in the business of actually doing. So you have to make sure that publicity and reviews and feedback or whatever it is that you want your group to be doing, you want to build in rewards for that. Oh goodness, wrong layer. Okay, there it is. So one of the things about the way I structured IndieGen.xyz is I don't want to sell ad space, essentially, to creators. I want to leave that free of charge. If the site is working as it ought to, then my stories and art and everything that I put up for sale and on IndieGen's site as well, those should do well. Like, it should be self-sustaining through the extra traffic that I get from the site. Yeah, that I get the same as everybody else who's listed on the site gets. And I don't have to play favorites, and I don't have to do sponsored listings. And I'm not in the business of getting the creators to give me more money. What I need to be in the business of is getting more people to visit the site and see what we have to offer. I want indies to stay independent. We need that. We need to be resilient so that we can't be canceled, that we can't be blacklisted or silenced or forced to do things that go against our beliefs to appease people who would never be buying our stories anyway. And they won't be appeased either. Yeah, people are entirely unreasonable. So what we need to do is work out a way that, one, we know what we're gonna what it is that we want to do. Whoops. What it is that we want to do and what actions we can take to get there. And then we got to reward those and make it compelling so that people keep coming back. There's my layer. Yeah, that's the goal. I think it can happen. I think we can do it. I don't see any reason why not. But figuring out, oops, where'd my cursor go? But figuring out how it is going to be done, that's going to be a little bit tricky. Not impossible, but interesting to figure out. Okay. Yeah, it should be us. There's absolutely no reason why not. And see, we can create work that's so much better than what's currently out there. And we can even do it from home. Even something as complex as an animated series. Yeah, because technology has moved forward by so much. Yeah, I can digitally paint. I can actually do a little bit of rudimentary animation. I won't say that I'm good at it. I've hardly practiced. But I'll get there. And it really is crazy that, especially now when it's so close, and it's so possible, or so close to being possible, for independents to create, say, an animated series with, really good quality if they care about what they're doing and they take their time. And this is the time when it's really out of fashion to care about what you're doing and take your time. Like, the mainstream isn't doing that. Like, there are TV series that go on, they don't even do storyboarding or character design. Well, maybe they do character design, but not a lot. Um, they just get started and go, and they figure everything will work out, and they don't map out the whole series arc. That's a huge mistake in my opinion. I mean, there's so much that they're doing or not doing or neglecting because it takes too much time or it takes skill they don't have, and they don't particularly care. And we can do better. We can beat these people. Oh my goodness. What sequels? There have only been 3. Well, they think nobody else has anywhere to go. Okay, I can't be on much longer though. Okay. I'm still not liking her right shoe. Oh well, I'll get to it eventually. Let's see. Yep, TV's on too loud in the other room. I don't know which other room or which TV, but it could definitely stand to be turned down. Let's see. I think I can go bigger on this brush to get the shadows and the material in. So yeah, after I do this project, I tried out some stuff on the later pages. I'm not sure if that'll stay. So after I finish this one, I might be doing a couple more in this series. And I also really do need to find some time to finish out my storyboard for the intro sequence to Soulbound the Animated Series. Okay, that's... And let's soften that up. So let me see. Okay. So that's where I've got my shadows roughed in. That all looks right. She looks good. I'm happy with her. Sounds like somebody's playing Fortnite in the background. Okay, so if I zoom back in on this and lightly sketch in some texture, that will be this skirt done. Trying to figure out how to make this look like cotton. I think I've got the drape about right for it. Hey, you're back. Yeah, I'm just going to finish up the skirt and then I gotta go. So how are your projects going? Well, I'm kind of eyeballing the cotton. I'm very familiar with how it's supposed to drape and how much light it's supposed to pick up, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to represent that in paint or digital paint. I'll just bluff. Oh yeah. School takes a lot. Even if it doesn't take a lot of actual hours in the day, it takes up mental space. There we go. Sounds good. Yeah, my novel should be out. I don't really know exactly when yet, but it's looking like this year. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, yeah, I do most of the teaching. Well, my kids are actually getting pretty good at teaching themselves mostly, so they don't need me quite as much. For my novel, oh, it was kind of a funny thing. So Silver Empire Press, you can find them at silverempire.org. And I also have a link to them up on indiegen.xyz. Um, they were coming out with some anthologies, and one of them was on superheroes. And I said, "Oh, well, a while back I did a superhero story for an anthology, but they kind of ghosted, and I never even heard whether the anthology got made. And it was still really good, and I read over it again, and I still really liked it. It was an excerpt from a story that I've been working on for a long time. You know, not so much one that I had written very much of, but these are characters that I knew well and that I kind of hang out with and think of whenever I need a story to entertain myself, but I have my hands full. So I knew all about my characters and what they went through and what they were like. And then I saw this call for the Paragons anthology that Silver Empire Press was coming out with. And I dug up that story and polished it a little bit and sent it in to them, and it was accepted. So I was really thrilled about that. And then they were coming out with a new concept that was very exciting. Okay, I'll give you a minute. Let's see. Before I get back on that. So yeah, Paragon's anthology. Uh, I don't know if it's still up on Amazon. But if anyone wants to, they can look for it. It's an anthology of superhero fiction. And my story is in extremely good company in the rest of the book. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Silver Empire has a great deal for their reviewers and an awesome deal for the book club. And they're really very forward thinking on how they do things. Yeah, my story is A Soldier Out of the Desert. So, yeah, after I was in that anthology, um, I sent them a query about maybe if they were interested in publishing the rest of the story. And I didn't hear back from them for a little while, but then it came out that they were working on another totally new, innovative concept, which they're very good at, with the Heroes Unleashed stories. Yeah, so my book's in there. Well, my book's finished, but they couldn't publish it just yet because, well, this year just keeps giving. And, yeah, I'm not sure exactly when it'll be out, but we're getting very close. It's with the cover artist now, I think, or it will be next. So my story is, or my novel is Penance, and it's going to be the first young adult book in the Heroes Unleashed line. And it features the same characters that were in my story that was in the Paragons anthology. So Penance is the name of my main character, who is a teenage girl with superpowers, and she's trying to escape a life of crime. And her world has just spiraled out of control over and over again, and it still does. I'm really mean to my characters when I write. Let's see. Close enough, I guess. So, yeah, I really like the way that they've structured, and they're thinking about how readers buy books and how to make it easy to find the rest in the series. And they're not afraid to innovate, and that's the way to come out on top. Yeah, you have to try new things and take risks, and also treat people right, which they're very good at. Okay, so this might have to be all for tonight. I mean, I would really love to get a little further on it, but I'm getting uh I'm getting a little tired. It was an early morning. Yeah, so I hope that Silver Empire has, a great deal of success because they certainly deserve it, and not just because my book's with them and their success is my success and vice versa. Okay. Well, it was good chatting with you, and good luck on your gig, and have a good night. And that's it for me, too. So, good night, everybody, and I'll see you in the other realm.